Hello, 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 everyone. Good to see you, Minion. Marine, thank you. What's up, Natcat? Doctor Who, Heather, all of you that are joining us. Oh, Pearl, what's up, Pearl? Long time no see. Amy, my daughter didn't want me to do it, but I did. Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it, Amy. Well, welcome in, you guys. Welcome to another episode of No More Kids in Scientology. And in this episode of No More Kids in Scientology, we are going to have an open discussion. I figure that most of the time when I am doing my lives, I'm discussing a very specific subject that we're all seeing, whether it's a video reaction or prepared statement, as has been the recent situationship. But today I wanted to hear some feedback from you guys and answer any questions that you might have. I don't do a lot of like questioning and answering with you guys in the chat, like I said, because usually the style is that we are just going through the different things that we're denouncing. And I was actually proud to see that we've done over 1,000 videos so far during this journey. And as you guys know, every single day we talk about the exact same thing, because we are advocating for a day where there will be no more kids in Scientology, no more kids that can be literally put in there, subjected to billion-year contracts. No more kids being told that when they get raped is their fault. That's what we're advocating for. That's what we're against. So definitely make it very clear, because we have gotten the pushback that we have. You can read all the comments for yourselves on the community tab and the last two videos that we did. Plenty of pushback, and it's to be expected, as is a moment of transition, and it's a moment that calls for awareness to be raised. So yeah, put your questions in caps and let's start answering some questions. Ex-witness Bernan, question, Serge, are you still personal friends with Aaron and the people who work in SBTV? No, we're not personal friends. What you see is what you get, you guys. There's no going on behind the scenes, and we wouldn't be denouncing the things we denounced without that having repercussions. It's like our awareness, what we found out, what we exposed, what we talked about, the reason we resigned, is mixed in with that personal relationship that we had. That's how it works. When you do mix personal relationships with business relationships, they do get mixed up. And once you see things on a business level, you can just separate that and make it not be about that. For the most part, I would say I am extremely disappointed. I'm extremely heartbroken, to be honest. And I have talked about that, but it's all good. Everyone is an adult in an adult body. Everyone can make their own decisions, and everyone can move forward in whatever way they choose. But, this idea that we're all just going to be frenzy wensies and everything goes is just ludicrous. Like a lot of people were writing, why can everyone just get along? And everything's about a kumbaya moment. And this channel, this content, this mission, the crimes we experience as children, being raped inside of those hotels with all the executives finding out about it, video recording when we were getting literally interrogated about what type of out 2D we had. That's what's being exposed here. So that trumps any type of personal relationship. That trumps anything. Anything. Like, I don't care. I don't care about anybody. I've disconnected from my own family. I've disconnected from my sisters that are still endorsing this. I've disconnected from my parents that are still endorsing this. I've disconnected from everyone in my family that is still endorsing this, playing dumb. So in what world am I just going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, let's all have a kumbaya moment? Because no, I will disconnect from anyone who stands in the way of not doing the heavy lifting required to get something actually accomplished, to stop the abuse of kids, you guys. Because again, for the 10th billion time, nothing has been accomplished in 74 years of the scourge of L. Ron Hubbard being proposed as a so-called self-help method. It's a self-help method for the adults that read those pitches and with a straight face went, oh yeah, this would be great to apply to my child because I have no sense of, child developmental situation. Just anything goes at the hotel. No, the convicted felon wrote it here. Oh, look, it says it here by L. Ron Hubbard. Do it. Lock up a child. Keep him there for hours on end. Interrogate it. And for some of us, imagine that we were used as those pawns, started at age 12. We couldn't be more disgusted. We couldn't be more nauseated that no adult ever rose any type of red flag. Any type of, you know what? The kids should be off limits, you guys. I know we all like it rough here, just like L. Ron Hubbard told us. I know we all pretend that that's saving a world. I know that we all pretend that we can write success story after success story after getting locked up for ourselves and getting humiliated and getting literally personally kidnapped. I know that all the adults inside those hotels are getting off on that as we speak. I saw those success stories. But again, as long as that is going on, nothing has changed inside of those hotels. No child is safer than whenever we were inside the hotel. Nothing. Zero change is what we have on the public record. Zero. We have zero help from the Department of Homeland Security, zero help from the FBI, zero help from the Clearwater Police Department, zero help from Mayor Karen Bass, zero help from the LAPD. Zero. The amount of laws that are getting enforced in this country when it comes to Scientology, trafficking children is this. Zero. The amount of safety measures that have been imposed inside of the hotel so that children aren't exposed to the disgusting, horrific, extreme role plays pitched by convicted felon L. Ron Hubbard is this. This is the number. This is the number, and nothing has changed. Nothing. Except a whole bunch of people playing dumb and dumber. That's all we ever get. Oh, let's play dumb and dumber. Let's pretend that we don't have a clue. We don't know how it works in there. You know who didn't want his sycophants to have that level of plausible deniability? Convicted felon L. Ron Hubbard. He's the one that said, video record everything you're doing, transcribe everything you're doing, write down everything you're doing, share between all executives the type of laundering of felonies that you're doing. So plenty people want to give these people a lot of benefit of the doubt. Oh yeah, let's really save all the adults. Oh my God, there's so many victims in there. And no one identifies who the actual predators are, do they? Where is that identification? Where's people caring? Where's the advocates? Where are they? And yes, part of the thing that I would say was horrific to see the pushback on is the idea that we're here for people's entertainment. Imagine that we're people, that we're literally writing that down. Why can't you just go back to the content and, kumbaya content? You know who's not helped when they're being blamed for being raped as a child when you do your little kumbaya content? Bingo, the kids. The kids. They don't get a shred of help. Those adults are emboldened to continue purporting that we're just practicing a religion. What's everyone suppressed about? Homeland Security that has access to the child trafficking laws. The FBI that has access to the child trafficking laws. The Department of Justice that has access to the child trafficking laws. Imagine all of those attorneys that have attended the top tier universities of the United States, graduated with honors from whatever in the hell place they got their certificate to really practice law. Imagine they're nowhere to be found on the public record, doing anything about anything. Just, everyone's having a religious experience. What we said in our very first video that we made whenever we made it, is the point. The law is on our side. The law has always been on the side of protecting children, even though plenty of United States of America lawyers that have put their law licenses on the line purporting that a felony perpetrated on a child is a religious experience for that child. Imagine that is the pitch that is still on the public record. 74 years later, after L. Ron Hubbard literally pitched to his surrogates, his proteges, his paid proteges, people paid to become like L. Ron Hubbard. They paid. And plenty of people that have been groomed to think that everyone's a victim in there inside of the hotel. We really should ask all of them to leave. You think an adult is going to help themselves that doesn't want to help themselves? How? How are adults that don't want to help themselves going to be helped? Any of you have any place to make that make sense? Because that's what we're asking. That's exactly what we're asking. Why are the adults being told that they are victims when they sign lengthy contracts that, shout out to you, Scientology attorneys, that, type all manner of complex, multi-page contracts to ensure that your client would never face a shred of legal scrutiny. Because no, Your Honor here, look at our contract. They signed all their rights away. They're all about it. And apparently judges in this country also go with the pitch, if you were child trafficked, then you really have to go to your child traffickers and, see if you can negotiate anything through arbitration. See if there's anything to negotiate there through arbitration, because you know what? It'd be great for you to really talk to the people that committed all these felonies on you to see if they have it in their heart to do something about it. Just like it happened to Valerie Haney. Just like it happened to her, you guys. She was sent to arbitration. Grueling, disgusting, unconscionable. More of that same shit we were getting as kids. Locked up with 4 people that were hand-selected to come, yell, scream at her, you're this, you're that, you're whatever, you're a piece of shit. Valerie started in the Sea Org at the same age as I started in the Sea Org. Let's make that clear. And the judges of this country are still going with, well, you know what? Then really they should go and arbiter. They really should go and talk to them. They really should go and do what? Debbie P. Question, is there an EIA number or even an application in process? Debbie P., I am as confused as all of you are in terms of this goddamn EIA number. Because you know what I didn't have a shred of access to? The books of said foundation. So, don't know. Can't comment either way. I don't know what the EIA number is. I know people that have gotten an EIA number, that they've checked it, and it doesn't appear anywhere. So, for what, God knows what reason, that's not being made clear. It wasn't made clear to the people on the board, and it's not being made clear to the people that ask about it. And, you know, it's just another one of the questions that everybody has, but no one can really actually answer. So, I've been trying to be so hard to be nice, but I'm literally heartbroken over the ASL crap. What a waste of time. I mean, thank you, DOA's megaphone. It is what it is. It is what it is, you know? No More Kids in Scientology is what we're talking about on a very literal daily basis. Anytime we talk about the subject is only going to be to advocate for the kids. It's only going to be to advocate for the change that we needed to see in that hotel, as every single grown adult is not an advocate for a child inside the Scientology hotels or commercial buildings. It took all the Scientology parents to have the group agreement that children were fair game. Imagine that Mike Rinder spent how many decades purporting that the fair game was whatever they did to whoever talk about them outside the hotel. They made their own kids fair game to be abused, to be committed felonies on, to be trapped, to be kidnapped, to be locked up against their will. All manner of felonies were made fair game on the kids. And yet all these stupid, idiotic, complete, zero due diligence corporate media talking heads that just hear what did you say, Mike Rinder? Oh, so fair game only happens to adults. Okay, and only happens when OSA's doing it to you. Okay, yeah, let's type about it. Let's write a book about it. Let's put a lot of newspapers about it because yes, adults need a lot of advocation. That's what the corporate media does. Advocate for adults. Go check the public record and see how much advocacy the corporate media does for grown adults that got themselves involved in this. Full consenting grown adults that got themselves involved in this, in literally being the architects of putting this entire culture where all Scientology parents renounced their critical thinking skills, renounced their common sense, renounced saying, wait, the kids shouldn't be here. They literally pretended that the kids being there, they were all prodigies. That's what we were told you are. Oh, Serge, you're such a prodigy, auditing at 12. Not great for you to be asking adults if they've ever raped anyone. Why in the hell was I asking adults that? How stupid can anyone be? Honestly, how stupid? So yeah, we're literally had enough of this BS, literally. Kiara-san, I wish there was more done trying to shut down Scientology in the past. They were so intertwined with everyone now. It's a large battle to get them shut down. It's only the government that can do something. Correct, Yara, because it's a state-sponsored racketeering scheme is what it's called. State-sponsored. The government is in on it. The IRS is in on it. The IRS gets told every single time someone writes off, oh yeah, let me call my business manager. Oh yeah, can I put $100,000 on my Amex? Can you really deduct that of my taxes? Yes, I just told the hotel the type of out-to-Ds I'm having with my daughter. Write of my taxes. I would really like to have the IRS give me $100,000 write-off. Thanks, bye. So plenty in this community have gone with the pitch like, oh, if only the IRS would what? There's 30 plus years of records, of tax records from Scientologists donating $1 million, $10 million, $100,000, $50,000, $30,000, $50,000, $90,000, $250,000. But the IRS has no clue. Oh, no, we thought it was very religious. That's what we were told. This was very nonprofit. This was really going to help the public. So much of this BS is the fact that people think that the IRS is doing anything in good faith. Because you know what? 30 years of this child trafficking being sponsored by the government, the blood of the children trafficked is on the IRS hands. If the IRS didn't enable these people to be doing what they're doing, then we wouldn't have been trafficked. It's that simple. It's that literally simple. So the government couldn't be more about it. And that's who needs to start getting pressure. That is who gets paid by all Americans to enforce the what? The law? Tax-abiding Americans? Law-abiding citizens? Pay who? The LAPD. Pay who? The Clearwater Police Department. Pay who? The FBI. Pay who? The DOJ. Pay who? The Homeland Security officers. All of them get paid by the taxpayers. And no American citizen that I've ever met said, you know what you really should be doing with my taxpayer money? Subsidize abominations. Subsidize legal abominations. Given that the law was broken, all of it was obstructed. The justice was obstructed by the people in the hotel as they wrote it down, as they video recorded exactly like who? Glad you'll ask. P. Diddy. Exactly like who? Glad that you'll ask. Jeffrey Epstein. Video recording their criminal activity. To have what? Glad that you'll ask. Blackmail. Because that's their drug inside of that hotel. That's their literal drug. Oh, let me get me some blackmail to really, sway people, to really convince them that if they go and self-admit to criminal activity, we can help them inside of the hotel. No wonder Scientology doesn't like therapists, you guys, because you know where you cannot go to release your conscience if you're literally raping your underage child? Imagine no therapist is trained in the art of sitting there and having to listen to someone having committed felonies on their kids. And it's up to them to what? To, oh, let me really take this burden from you. No wonder Scientology doesn't like therapists, because they're mandated reporters. They don't want mandated reporting. They want what they offer in that hotel. Tell us when, where, how, every detail of everything you did to your child that was a felony, and then we will float your needle. Mandy Me, how can we support Michael in his court case? He was trying to inform the cops about kids in Scientology. Thank you, Mandy Me. Yes. That is exactly what Michael was doing. And that is exactly what so many protesters have been doing. If you go and listen to the type of advocacy that has been coming out of the mouth of the people that have been arrested, you'll find a common thread, a common denominator. They all denounced child trafficking. They all denounce kids getting abused. And you know what? Scientology doesn't want that to be denounced, because that ruins their little scam and scheme and racketeering, disgusting, felonious thing that they're doing as we speak. Oh, it ruins it. Oh, yeah, no, don't talk about the kids. Kids are adults in small bodies. We religiously really think that. So that's exactly what Michael was advocating for. And there's stuff that we're doing in terms of what we need to do for him, you guys. And we will keep you updated. And thank you for all of those who have been asking and DMing and everything else. It's definitely a lot. It's definitely a lot. And we're dealing with it the best we can. And we don't come and display and discuss all of that because we have to do some of that heavy lifting ourselves. But we know we have your backup and we know we have your support, and that means the world. So in due time, we will be discussing more on that. Question, in Clearwater, are there kids in the hotels? Yes. In Clearwater, at Celebrity Center, they have one at the Fountain building. I mean, I'm sure everyone has known and found out by now that there was a gay kid. Literally, he wasn't, I think he was over 21, but very, very young still. When you hear him speak, you're like, damn. I mean, imagine that you can't really advocate for someone 21 and up, because if they get ensnared in that, they're doing so as adults. And yet you still see how horrific everything we've discussed about Scientology is doing. But guess what? They're doing something worse now that they weren't doing back in the day. Back in the day, you guys, there was no such thing as going through people's phones and apps. And oh, let me see, let me go through your apps, let me go through your phone. We're really a hotel here that's very churchy. Imagine that now everyone's, oh, turn me your phone. Let me really go through this. This is a religious activity, right? Going through phones. So it's absolutely unthinkable. Amy, thank you for saying this. Comment, I bet they're making the kids clean up after the hurricane in Clearwater. Fun fact, you guys, when there was hurricanes coming to Clearwater, when I was in the RPF, sent there by Debbie Cook, sent there by Angie Trent, sent there by the women that were all about having kids locked up and abused with full impunity, cashing checks as we speak. Not Angie Trent. Angie Trent is a dishwasher somewhere now in those hotels. But Debbie Cook is, you know, cashing her little checks at the bank every month to keep her mouth shut about what she knows she was doing inside of those hotels. Debbie Cook is what you call in Scientology a no-case gain woman. Imagine she learned nothing from having exited those hotels. Imagine she just learned to keep her mouth shut because she gets paid. And yes, we were being used, I, as a 16-year-old, having to put sandbags close to the student motels as the water was coming up because a hurricane was coming. So Scientology's always used whoever they want to do whatever dirty work they have. It's never been anything that they're pressed about. Never, never, never. Thank you, Pearl Snappy. There are kids and massage tables and dolls and clay tables in every org. Massage tables inside the converted hotel rooms with video recorded cameras, you guys. So for all who want to give the adults of Scientology the full benefit of the doubt, because maybe not everyone was a degenerate, double check on that fact. They're all following the rhetoric of a convicted felon blindly. They sign up, they pay for that. They want it done to them. And they have no problem if it's a child doing it. They'll even pay preferential rates, like L. Ron Hubbard said, to do. Oh yeah, just charge them 15% more, and all of a sudden you hand select who you want to get interrogated by. And the IRS is calling this a very religious act. Imagine how disgusting the leadership of the IRS truly is. The unconscionable degenerates are the leadership of the IRS, who sits there grabbing tax taxpayer after tax, all the Scientology Americans have to report their taxes to the IRS. All of them have to give what they're donating to. And imagine with all the information that is out there about what these people are doing, everyone's still going, oh no, they're doing a religion. I can't see anything. If crimes get committed inside a hotel on children, just because we call it religion, then all of a sudden nothing counts. So yeah, literal massage tables, literal clay demos. This is the grooming. And as disgusting as it is, my own grandmother was used to groom me. So as much as you want to save all seniors, double check on that. My grandmother was used to groom me to become an interrogator at age 12. So my grandmother is also up to her necks and ears in complicity in having normalized that for myself. I would have never landed in those hotels if my parents and my grandparents were not exposing me to that. We're not saying, this is going to be great for you. This is going to be really wonderful. You have no idea how much you're going to win when you get abused. We weren't winning when we were getting abused. We weren't winning whatsoever. That I can guarantee you. No child that cannot consent to the activity they're getting exposed to is in on that said activity. They're not winning. They're not liking it. If they don't like it, they get further punished. If they say no, they get further punished. If they say stop, they get further punished. If they say, I want to leave this room, they get further punished. It's only until they say, oh, this is great and wonderful, and L. Ron Hubbard is such a genius. Thank you. Your needle is floating. Now you can leave the room. Doctor Who had their question, Serge. What moment are the most proud of your time for as a child advocate and an Scientology and an anti-Scientology activist? The proudest is the fact that people are out there advocating for kids. You guys, I am proud for the people that have done that have taken it upon themselves to do that have understood the assignment, that understood the severity and the seriousness of the things that are denounced. This is no barbecue party. This is no, let's all have fun and have a lot of fun. Sorry. You want to have a lot of fun? Join another protest group that has a lot of fun things to offer. This specific situation requires the most seriousness, given the fact that disgusting criminal acts are being covered up on children, given the fact that law enforcement refuses to advocate for said children because they're being told it's a very religious thing, the type of disgusting abuse they're having for themselves. So the proudest moment really is what other people have been able to do to further this conversation. But the mountain that we have to climb is so still literally from here to the moon. It couldn't be higher because, you know, as proud as I am that people are standing up and American citizens are coming and showing and setting the record straight and actually showing us that no, good law-abiding Americans do not believe in the right for degenerates to have their way with kids and call that a religion. They've been relying on the corporate media that has pitched that ad nauseum. Just like any other religion, this one, oh, more headlines with watered down BS. Because no reporter in this country has gone inside a hotel and actually study what in the hell these people do. No reporter in this country has done a course and then gone to where the audits happen and then gone behind the scenes where the video cameras are all being video recording all the sessions that are going on at once. This is being done 24/7, 365. And what I'm not proud of, I'll tell you, is that nothing has changed. Because nothing changes if nothing changes. And so far, you know, there's a more awareness coming up. Scientology's press having to defend the indefensible. And that's a step in the right direction. But, you know, the journey of 1,000 steps is begun with one. So we're at step number 1. People are coming to the table. People are realizing who the victims are after being lied to, after trauma being used as entertainment, no less. You know where they made us feel that our trauma was entertainment? In those hotels. And you know where plenty of those tone-deaf people that were attacking us in the comments and they're pressed because their little entertainment source is being called out. Imagine that. Imagine being that tone deaf. Imagine you haven't understood a shred of a thing about what matters. And you just go, oh yeah, why don't we just go back to that entertainment that we were having for ourselves? Because, we really do get our dopamine hits whenever we do click on a video that YouTube provides. This content is not for entertainment. This content is to denounce unthinkable crimes, systemic crimes against children, felonies committed on children, felonies that have been, whitewashed and trivialized by all manner of sources. Thank you, Lynn. That's exactly it. Hello, Selfless Self. The togetherness wish thinking is made more ridiculous by all of Search's pitch as to the severity of the past, current, and projected future of innocents trapped in the cult. That's what it matters, you guys, is prevention. Everything that happened to us already did happen. So it sucks to be us, the kids that were told that as we were getting raped, it was our fault. You know what's not going to ever change? That fact. You know what we have to live with? The burden of what we have to live with on a daily basis? That fact. You know what we didn't ask for? That. So, yeah. The idea that together nothing. The kids are still in danger and no one has given a shred of a literal F. They haven't understood the assignment. Very few people have actually put skin in the game to show they understand that assignment. And plenty other people are just, consuming content because isn't it great for me to take a little 20-minute dive into this very interesting story. There's another story coming out. Let me tell you this story. Let me tell you another story. On and on and on with stories that entertain people. Exactly what the corporate media has done for the last 74 years. Entertained people. They haven't whistleblown. They haven't enforced a shred of law. They haven't reined back the self-entitled sycophants of a convicted felon. They have literally been enabling them by purporting that, they're just practicing a religion like everyone else. Exactly, Amanda. It is literally illegal. Amy, thank you. Thank you for bringing up the FDLE. Being hypercritical when it was Trafficking Awareness Month and deleting comments on their Instagram page when I mentioned child trafficking in Clearwater Search. Yes, Amy. Thank you for bringing that up. Because for a while, you guys, we were telling people, go to the FDLE's public Instagram page and start telling them so they can stop pretending that they're stupid, that they're dumb, they're ill-informed, that they have no idea. FDLE, you have been put on notice. We have been writing to you comments for over a year, matter of fact. And you do delete those comments. Imagine being you, the FDLE, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement that doesn't know how to enforce a shred of law. Because yes, Florida is the most disgusting state in the whole United States, as it hosted Jeffrey Epstein and the biggest concentration of Scientologists. Imagine that. Imagine being the Tampa Bay Times that has been there completely laundering the image of all Scientology executives that left those hotels, of the same exact executives that were doing Ghislaine Maxwell's job on steroids. Imagine Debbie Cook. She wasn't just some little surrogate that had no clue. Debbie Cook was doing Ghislaine Maxwell's bidding for Jeffrey Epstein on steroids. The kids that Debbie Cook child trafficked, she can point a finger and be like, it was David. You know who wasn't around at the hotel very much? David. You know who was there on a daily basis when we were locked up, child trafficked, without access to our passports? Debbie Cook. the one that gets paid today to shut the F up and to pretend that she had no clue about anything and that all her public statements contradict that she made a shred of ethics change, given that she talks about how, oh, but L. Ron Hubbard really had a lot of great ideas and I really believe in L. Ron Hubbard, but David ruined my party. So the FDLE is up to their neck and ears in being completely idiotic, completely all about child trafficking. Imagine that they made child trafficking legal again in the state of Florida. And we have a Jeffrey Epstein case to thank. The Miami Herald, who did take their job seriously, who did expose, who did put a headline, perversion of justice. Why do you think Jeffrey Epstein got caught? Because the Miami Herald wrote perversion of justice. And then guess what? None of the law enforcement people could play dumb anymore. Okay, well, now we really do have to deal with this. Now let's really pretend we care. And imagine even after all of that, they still had that disgusting guy, Alex Acosta, another lawyer, another one of these pathetic lawyers that this country produces that have no idea how to enforce a shred of law, that have no idea how to read. Child trafficking is defined as A, B, C, and D. And go, okay, so this is the definition of child trafficking, and that hotel is locking children's passports up. I think it matches. Imagine all that a stupid, idiotic attorney like Alex Acosta needs to do is be told, but it's a religion, so never mind. Bye-bye. Tell those kids that are being child trafficked, better luck next lifetime. That's what they're being told. That's what's being told by this American press, by this corrupt law enforcement, by FDLE that does not care if the child trafficking laws in Florida get enforced. They could not care any less because they're always out there purporting that child trafficking happens only in rundown motels, you guys. Oh yeah, let me really show America where the trafficking is happening here. Do you see this rundown hotel? That's where it's happening. That's where it happens. Luxury hotels, no child traffics ever gets done there. So they never go into the Scientology hotels. They never go knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Anything going on over here? Why are all these foreign children manning the front reception of the hotel? Carla Stanzani, an Italian girl that was 15 years old when she got recruited by Lori Engelhardt, the counterpart of Debbie Cook. There's another captain. So just let's make sure that everyone understands that there's Debbie Cook that handled all the laundering of the felonies, the technical laundering of the felonies. In charge for that was Debbie Cook. Her counterpart was Lori Engelhardt. She only handled hotel things. She's the one that would grab kids and say, you're now a maid and you're going to save a world. Go clean Tom Cruise's literal room. Go clean for John Travolta. Go service them. So yeah, FDLE, for as much as you want to play dumb, nice try. Nice try, because you know what? The community is onto you. And we will continue protesting, as is our right as American citizens of this country, to denounce unequivocally and categorically the disgusting things that Florida is all about. Jeffrey Epstein, and now you're going for Scientology. So if Florida thought that Jeffrey Epstein was bad, get prepared, Florida citizens, because soon you're going to start being asked, why the hell are thousands of kids implicated in getting trafficked in your state, a la Jeffrey Epstein on steroids? That's the problem that the FDLE is going to have. That's the problem that all these attorneys and judges of Florida that don't know how to enforce laws, apparently they don't teach that in the universities of this country. They don't teach how to enforce laws. They don't teach how to pull a string. They don't teach how to ask questions. They only just get told. Not great, you guys? Well, Florida, you be well served. All of you attorneys of this United States, come to find out, would be well served to study L. Ron Hubbard. Study him and see how he tells you to investigate when you need to investigate. Take a couple pointers from him. Like this one, look, don't listen. Look with your eyeballs. Stop being told. When you're told, you didn't understood shit. When you're told, you're manipulated as if you all were gullible children. Oh, well, my daddy told me it was all great, so it must be great. That's how the program worked so well on us, the kids. Our daddies told us that everything was great and wonderful. Our daddies knew. Our daddies knew. They knew everything. Everything L. Ron Hubbard pitched, they knew. Everything on what was going to happen in a session, they knew. Everything they groomed us to get really accustomed to with clay demos and little dolls and make it all very like kiddie. Our parents knew. And imagine none of them are on the public record repudiating knowing that. Imagine being that parent that paid to have their kids become fair game. April, religion is not child abuse, is illegal, and is now false on law enforcement for not doing anything. You now have the knowledge. Yeah. CC Department of Justice, CC FBI, CC LAPD, CC Mayor Karen Bass, CC Clearwater Police Department, CC Tampa Bay Times, CC Miami Herald. Go and bypass the pathetic reporters at the Tampa Bay Times, Miami Herald. Go and show them how you expose a pedophile child trafficking ring. Because, you know, we have seen the law be applied, but we are not getting treated equally under the law. It turns out that when you're a child trafficked, nobody gives an F. Not anyone at the Tampa Bay Times anyways. Those contracts were forced on us. There was no room to say no. No room. I mean, you guys already saw this. We have corroborated evidence that whatever they were doing 30 years ago to us, to get us to sign shit, to get us ensnared, was just corroborated by this new kid that just left. What was he saying? Oh, yeah, you would be so great for the Sea Org. We've been looking for you. Oh, yeah, we've been looking for someone exactly like you. You would be so great. You would be so wonderful. Chase him down, call him a million times. All of that is still all happening. Uninformed consent or implied consent should be illegal for minors, period. 100%. That's the point, you guys. That is the point of this assignment. The children cannot in any way, shape, or form have the capacity, the mental wherewithal to understand the extent of the circumstances that they're going to be exposed to. They just simply don't. All adults that read everything that L. Ron Hubbard pitched don't have that plausible deniability for themselves. Imagine that they read everything. Imagine that they saw everything. Imagine that they got exposed to everything and they thought, this is where I want my child to go. Spiritually free is what they were saying. Oh yeah, you're really gonna go spiritually free when you get abused. Thank you, Kay Taylor, for your super chat. I still can't believe that with all the documentaries, SPTV channels, Aftermath channels on Scientology, literally no one is focused on highlighting or ring the alarm about the disgusting abuse of children until Surge. And I mean, again, you guys, I've always taken this as my own personal plight. I was abused as a child. I was raped as a child. I was locked up in the disgusting RPF as a minor with a lot of other minors that have no voice today, that are nowhere to be found. They're either literally off themselves or they're still stuck at the hotel. I never asked anyone else to make the content I was making. It's unconscionable and hard AF to have to go back every single time that we do one of these lives and discuss these subjects because they are traumatic AF. No one is doing this for entertainment. You couldn't pay me enough to do this as an entertainer. It's a disgusting subject, and the only reason we're here is because no one gave an F about raising a shred of alarm when we were there. So let's make sure that that's very, very clear for the people in the back that is still don't get it. Oh, I'm really confused. Yeah, no wonder you're confused because like you said, Kate Taylor, after all the documentaries that never mention kids, imagine being literally going clear. Imagine being Alex Gibney. Imagine being that Lawrence Wright. Let me really type everything about L. Ron Hubbard. Every nauseating detail of what a disgusting, degenerate L. Ron Hubbard was. And we're not critiquing the fact that he exposed and did a lot of his research on L. Ron Hubbard. Imagine he missed their withhold. That's why Alex Gibney and that's why Lawrence Wright are getting a big, fat flunk. If we as children would be as shoddy, would be as glib, would be as teety-weety as the American press, our heads as children were spliced in two. It's called auditors, penalties for auditors who missed a withhold. L. Ron Hubbard said that's the worst thing you could possibly do, to not get to the bottom of something. So when we were there as children, if we didn't get the pedophile to tell us A, B, C, D, F, and G of how they raped a child, it wasn't the pedophile that was in any kind of problem. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. The pedophile, the self-admitted pedophiles were cradled and canoodled like infantile degenerates that they all are, paying to get that type of service. But you know who did get in a lot of trouble? Natalie Galbiati. Oh, you really missed the withhold. Sherry Chapolina. Oh, she really missed a withhold too. Robin Alessandrini. Oh, you missed a withhold too. You're not confronting enough. Children are being told that they don't confront enough. You're not digging the disgusting details out of the self-admitted disgusting felons. So, yeah, all manner of documentaries, aftermath, all this stuff, because everything has been a big generalized PR spin situation. They don't get to the bottom of anything because they don't advocate for the people that need it the most, the ones who didn't consent to be there, as we would know. And you would think that with just those documentaries, it should have been alone. With just those watered down headlines from the Tampa Bay Times, could have done something there. But no, it's never enough, and it's never, ever been confronted by anybody, no matter how much has already been denounced, no matter how much. And like Maureen said here, it is cover-up 101. Minion, it's scary to come forward. I'm a never in and suffered abuse because I lived in a neighborhood surrounded by Scientology. I mean, again, it's the bullying antics, it's punching down on people. It's instilling fear in others by throwing their weight around and their corrupt power. Lorraine Renee, don't think that you're wasting y'all's time. You might not see results right away, but it's working. You will save the kids. Remember that will happen. Blaze y'all a gazillion times. Thank you, Lorraine. I mean, yes and no. You know what they told us at the hotel, you guys? This is how the Scientology executives treated us. Where's the product? Where's the product? Show us that it stopped. So today I am literally adopting that little line from the Scientology executives and turning that line right back to them. Where is the product? Where is the child abuse being stopped? Where is the denouncement of kids being blamed for their own rapes? That's what we don't see. And that's why you see me pressed AF, because again, in what world are we having to still deal with this? All they needed to do was make this shit 21 and up. All they had to do is, have people do a shred of due diligence at the IRS. So yeah, we can't lose hope, because what we do have ahead of us is insurmountable amount of work in order to literally demand accountability, demand equal treatment under the law as we are owed as citizens of this country, instead of being treated as second-class slave child citizens that we were treated in this country. So there's a lot of work ahead, and I am grateful and thankful for everyone that's here listening to these unthinkable things and having to roll up our sleeves together and having to come up with solutions to a problem, the scourge of convicted felon L. Ron Hubbard, that proliferates and infects as many families as they can get their fangs stuck in. Question, has anyone from the board reached out to you since your statements? Aaron had reached out to me after he was pressed about comments that I made saying that I've been shunned. And he said, you've never been shunned and blah, blah, blah. And we got into a back and forth. And honestly, it was the same shit in a different air freshener. He was still being a bully. He was still not having any shred of actual good faith to get to the problem. He was trying to make me the problem. And I've had enough. I've had enough of having somebody that is just going to abuse me straight to my face. Plenty times I told him, you guys, like, stop being verbally abusive, Aaron. It's not okay that you're doing that. And do you think he ever cared? Do you think he ever stopped? Do you think that made any difference? It would go one ear and out the other. So no, and no one else did reach out other than Aaron trying to, sanitize his image and clean up something and handle me. Breaking news, Aaron, you ain't handling us. We don't owe you jack shit. We were volunteers in your board. We were trying to help you. We gave you the grace. We gave you the benefit of the doubt. We put up with a lot of your trauma responses that we did spot for ourselves. But if you don't want to help yourself, then no one can help you. Sapa said the most abundant universe is not hydrogen, it's stupidity. It seems to hold water. I mean, we are in a fight for stupidity, you guys. Because it is utterly stupid that a civilization that writes a bunch of words on a piece of paper saying, oh, you guys, we have a great country here. Look at all these laws that we really did right for ourselves to purport that we're going to be really checking that everyone is, following a shred of common sense. And then all of a sudden, everyone that went to a school, they weren't born in a cult. They went to American universities where they taught them the law. And imagine all lawyers of this country are too pathetic and stupid to understand how to unsnare the fact that whatever says here about child trafficking and the business model of this so-called church that the IRS says is a very nonprofit thing do not match up whatsoever. And you know what? That's not our issue. That is their issue. That's their stupidity. We're done being patient and waiting for them to come and really oh yeah, really help us over here. To get a tax write-off is a slap in the face. I mean, it's the most disgusting, egregious thing. It's like the US government can go, oh yeah, Jeffrey Epstein did a lot of horrible stuff. Was he getting tax breaks for doing what he was doing? The US government claimed that they didn't know anything until they knew, until they got told, right? Never mind that there was plenty of corruption. Never mind there was plenty of fair gaming allowed. until, yes, it got to the point where law enforcement couldn't play dumb anymore. And they had to come in and sprinkle a little bit of water and really take Jeffrey away. And then, oh my God, we're so incompetent that, oh my God, I think he really offed himself and we're supposed to just take it or leave it. But yeah, the tax write-offs of the self-admitted felons getting told that their needle floating is really a thing. Imagine that. Imagine that these self-admitted pedophiles get told your needle is floating. And as soon as that phrase is said, it cancels out any felony. They just self-admitted against their Fifth Amendment right that we did learn outside of the hotels. Because remember, we were kids from Mexico that didn't even understand what the Constitution was by the time we got ensnared in this illegal contract that we were forced to sign. Thank you for bringing up Reckless Ben, Selfless, because that is the only reporter that has had eyeballs inside the cult so far. No one from the New York Times, no one from the LA Times, no one from the Tampa Bay Times, none of those reporters that get paid a lot of money comparison to Reckless Ben, a YouTuber that did it more as a joke. Imagine that. You know, no shade to him, but you know, he was doing it as a joke to continue this idea that this is a subject that we can just all be joking about. You know, and no, it's not something to joke about what in the hell is going on. But we're glad that at least he was able to get, you know, the situation there. Racketeering at its finest, sickening. I mean, yes, Larry. And we've seen this from what? From what's being exposed in the law right now. P. Diddy is what? Being investigated for what? For racketeering. For human trafficking. And it took one single lawsuit to have the entirety of Homeland Security raiding his homes. Cassie's lawsuit. That's what the media is reporting. Oh yeah, Cassie's lawsuit. Due to that lawsuit, a lot of things happen. Guess how many lawsuits have been filed against Scientology for racketeering and child trafficking? Jane Doe in Florida, 1. Jane Doe that was dropped. Jane Doe in Florida that was dropped. Jane Doe 2 in California that is currently being litigated in the courts as we speak. 2. Valeska Perez in Florida. 3. Gwen Baxter in Florida. 4. Laura Baxter in Florida. 5. Child trafficking and racketeering. 5 lawsuits, and where the hell is Department of Homeland Security scratching their you-know-what? Mind you, ours had to do with children. P. Diddy's had to do with a bunch of adults that go to parties and do all manner of disgusting things to themselves. So the children get no help, and the celebrities get a lot of help and attention. So looks like law enforcement, once again, is chasing clout, is chasing, oh yeah, let's really show people how we really care about this issue because it's all celebrity-based. The media is really gonna wanna cover it. Let's really become famous. Let's really make a lot of PR for us. The law should not be about chasing clout and PR. The law should be about doing your investigations, getting to the bottom of shit, advocating fiercely for those that you're being paid to literally do your job about. But yeah, all we get is P. Diddy and P. Diddy and P. Diddy, and now it's all just P. Diddy ad nauseum, 24/7, 365. Nobody wants to talk about anything else. 5 lawsuits that have been ignored by the American press. Ignored. Right? Oh, breaking news. 1 article. Okay, enough. Nothing else here to see. Meanwhile, all these so-called reporters have so-called said, well, you know what? As long as it's not written on a lawsuit, we can't report about it. It was written in 5 lawsuits. And where is the Tampa Bay Times covering this shit? You know what the Tampa Bay Times really did cover ad nauseum with 0 lawsuits? 0. The child trafficker's plight. Tampa Bay Times typing. Oh, you guys, breaking news. We really have to break the news here. We're being told because they're obsessed with David. That is Tampa Bay Times' sick obsession with David. And with all of his sycophants and all of his enablers and all of his surrogates, that when the going went rough for them as full-grown adults that they were, they thought, let me leave and let me really blame it all on David because the Tampa Bay Times is too stupid to investigate anything and too thirsty to write salacious bullshit that they will just write whatever in the hell we tell them. Do you know how many words the Tampa Bay Times has spent typing our story that went to the police department, that went to literal litigation? That's how much they give an F at the Tampa Bay Times. 0. They could care less. Yeah, Kiara. The emails the audit is posting between LAPD and Scientology is disgusting. Shows the collusion between them trying to get rid of protesters. Scientology is actively, for all the preaching that they do about the First Amendment, and the First Amendment says this, and the First Amendment lets us do whatever, whenever someone else wants to assert their right, Scientology goes and eradicates their ability to assert any right. Because according to Scientology, only they can have the protection of the law. And no children can have a protection of the law. And no child advocate advocating on behalf of those atrocities has the protection of the literal law. Because the law, as long as you pay them, you completely make them go brainless and dumb. Imagine being so stupid, the LAPD people, that just a little cash, you know? Mind you, all of them are getting paid by us, the LAPD. All of them. They all have hefty salaries paid by who? Taxpayers. But you know what the LAPD does? That one's the salary I already get. Who gives an F? Let me get a little padding on my salary. Let me not give an F about what the citizens of Los Angeles that have been subsidizing child trafficking at an industrial size scale for all the liberals in Hollywood that want to purport, oh yeah, we really do know what in the hell we're doing here, the liberals in Hollywood. We really know, we really care, we really are so fucking woke. You couldn't be more asleep at the wheel. Because how many celebrities have come forward and denounced what the protesters are denouncing? How many? How many Hollywood celebrities have gone to the street and said, why are children being locked up against their will? Why are children being raped and told is their problem? Why is Nicole Kidman not helping? Why is Katie Holmes not helping? Why are they part of the Nothing to Do with Me club? Oh, I'm Katie Holmes. Got better things to do with my life now because I did rescue my child. And that tells us everything we need to know, Katie Holmes. You rescued your child and you left all other children in there. Why did you only rescue yours? Why? Something that Nicole Kidman can't even say because she didn't even bother to rescue her. She's like, okay, well, you know, Scientology is so terrible. Here are my adopted kids. Keep them, Tom. I'll respect them. I'll respect them for wanting to be Scientologists, is what Nicole Kidman said. We've already covered this, so go back to the YouTube where we covered this. Nicole Kidman literally said when she did a movie where she was portraying the mother of a gay son, She really did think, oh, you know what I can really do here? Sanitize my image to pretend that a gay son or a child selecting to be a Scientologist is something I really should respect as a mother. You want to be a Scientologist? Oh, I respect you. You want to be gay? Oh, I respect you. As if those are even something. But where the hell is Hollywood in Los Angeles protesting, denouncing, giving an F about any of this? Where's CAA? Where are Elizabeth Moss's people? Yo, Elizabeth, we've been watching the YouTubes because, there's a lot of protesters outside the thing you call a so-called church. So let me get this straight. Are children locked up against their will in so-called audits? So let me get this straight. Is the auditor's code that a convicted felon, L. Ron Hubbard, the so-called American-bred God, wrote down on a piece of paper to lock someone up against their will and keep them there at your own volition, don't let them end the session on their own determinism, is that being done and applied to underage kids who cannot consent, Elizabeth? We stand for the children. I mean, again, you guys, that's the miracle of here, because yes, as much as the pushback that we got for denouncing the foundation from sycophants who do not want to hear anything else other than Aaron is great, Aaron is wonderful, is giving same shit, different air freshener. You know who piled up all together and were, couldn't wait for who? For David Miscavige to make his little speech. Oh yeah, let's all listen to David. He's got great things to say. And he came across all charismatic, happy-go-lucky, wonderful, and great. And then what did he do when no one was watching? What did he do when the cameras were not on him? Thank you, Snotface. You guys are here for the kids as well. Again, we're just but a drop of water in this bucket, you guys. We're in no way, shape, or form delusional enough to think that we matter any more than nobody else. It's that simple. It's that literally simple. There's plenty of corroborating testimony that's been denounced here on YouTube as much as we can whenever YouTube is not throttling down the algorithm, doing everything that engineers can do to make sure this message doesn't come out. Because yes, even YouTube, even Google is all about propping up full-blown degenerates on their platform, as they did with Ruby Franke. Don't forget, Ruby Franke had what? 2.1 million plus followers. That's who YouTube allowed to get really big. In this so-called, oh yeah, it's so very organic. So a woman that was literally abusing her kids on the YouTube platform got to 2+ followers. And don't even get me started on Mr. Beast, their little YouTube darling. Everybody wants to pretend that Mr. Beast and YouTube have nothing to do with each other. Double check on that. The leadership of YouTube couldn't be more up to their neck and ears in knowing, because very much like Scientology, guess what they're doing? Video recording. Video recording what? All the fraud that's been exposed as Mr. Beast doing. And guess who else had a ton of sycophants where you couldn't say a single bad thing about their little YouTube darling, Mr. Beast? Bingo, his sycophants. Anybody that did any video on exposing the weird practice of, grooming kids to be gambling? Anybody that exposed the fake charitable things that Mr. Beast didn't give an F about, as if he didn't put literal convicted pedophiles on his videos? So Apparently, no one has learned a thing about what a cult is about. Apparently, everybody thinks that just Scientology has this business model. Imagine being that glib that you just really think, oh no, it must be just Scientology, the only cult alive on planet Earth. Why did Aaron change his tune on what and who y'all could talk about, or he wouldn't collaborate with those that did? I mean, excellent question, Minion. Excellent question. Why did Aaron change his tune on what and who y'all could talk about, or he wouldn't collaborate with those that did? You can see him going on and on about Mike Rinder. Oh, leave him alone. He's been out of Scientology for 20 years. And where was that energy right before that, Aaron Smith Levin, when you were leaving the Aftermath Foundation board? Because you were all about talking everything Mike Rinder then, weren't you? So what changed in a year that you went back to that talking point? That you took it upon yourself to literally pitch, oh, why doesn't Mike Rinder pick up the phone and really talk to Miriam? You mean the child rape survivor that he doxed on his blog? How stupid can you be to say that with a straight face? How literally disgustingly stupid or corrupt or both can you be to be saying that? To be sanitizing Mike Rinder's image all over again. Is he back on your lines? Why are you advocating so hard again for him? It doesn't make a shred of sense. Time to pull the string and find a Sherman tank. Why are you doing that? He doxed her. He refused to take down that post. He derailed her police investigation. And you're out there saying, no one make any more content because I won't collaborate. You barely ever collaborated with anyone else anyways. We can count in our literal fingers how many collaborations we had. So for all of you who really want to go, oh, you owe everything to Aaron, we don't owe Aaron nothing. We were helping him. We gave him the benefit of the doubt. We thought he was going to be the leader that he said he was going to be. And then it turned out that he didn't want to be that. Oh, well, there you go. Liz Gale is resigning. Thank you, Larry. It will come down someday. Nobody ever thought women, Jeffs, and fundamentalist Mormons would go down, but thank God it happened. Holding hope and space for you. Yeah. I mean, when we see those cases, you guys, we just see how effed we've been by being treated not equally under the law. I posted a short that talked about Warren Jeff and his disgusting accomplices writing down all manner of incriminating information, and the cops getting in there and finding a tiny little vault where all this information was found. Scientology has that information on steroids. So when the law enforcement of this country really want to come up with a good excuse to show us why we're not being treated equally under the law, as the law calls for, because Warren Jeff will get literally convicted, indicted, and put in prison to rot as he should. And David Miscavige and the entirety of his network of accomplices, because that's what's been the false pitch for all of you. All of you that really go, oh, it's David Miscavige, the boogeyman, and everyone's under such an influence of David Miscavige. Plenty of adults are doing this pro bono on a volunteer basis, and yes, for $50 a week. Imagine being the person, the grown-ass adult that chooses to break all laws, that chooses to abuse, that chooses to traffic, that chooses to blame kids for their own rapes for $50 a week. So once again, for the people in the back, the adults need saving. You cannot save an adult that doesn't want to save themselves. It's a losing battle. The only ones that didn't consent to being inside of those hotels is those kids. The only ones that were gaslit by their own parents, the only ones that were sacrificed for their parents' self-gratification is the kids. The kids that are there right now being audited, being ethics handled, and being put through the disgusting grooming courses that no one else is around to denounce. I mean, they'll denounce it here, they'll denounce it there, and then, you know, before too long, they're off chasing another squirrel. Yeah, where is the conscience? Liz left the board. That's a statement. I mean, has that been publicly stated? I haven't seen the public statement. We need to keep abuse of kids foremost and center. I mean, again, you guys, that's who needs the advocacy. If we would have been inside of those hotels and somebody would have come and knocked, yo, Debbie Cook, come here. How many kids are here that are under the age of 21? Oh, I don't know, 590? Good. All 590 kids that you currently have here have to leave the hotel now. That's it. Do you know how Scientology wouldn't be able to run without kids? If you guys ever saw that movie that was called A Day Without a Mexican, where all the Mexicans disappeared and then nobody could do anything, imagine that Scientology has A Day Without Children and those hotels can't run themselves. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder literally why. Serge, apparently you've been friends with Danny Masterson and his people. People say that you've overlooked the bad stuff when you thought they could help you at your art career. Is that true? Just a question. Yeah, well, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up because that is a question and a rumor that's been started. Danny Masterson was in my circle due to the fact that he was bestie westies with my sister-in-law. Okay? Now, the problem with this narrative that I was so besties with Danny is the fact that I was an ex-Sea Org member. Me and my ex-wife were ex-Sea Org member. So we were not allowed to be part of the parties and the barbecues and all the other stuff that they were doing. We weren't cool enough. We weren't allowed to be there because the president had a literal minion in there, Luke Watson, and would be watching. Oh, there's Lily, there's Serge. Oh, Susan, Lily and Serge are here at the barbecue. Kick them out because they're ex-Sea Org. So no, I did on the peripheral see them. I thought they were great, amazing people. That's what we were being pitched. Oh, look at him. He's so successful. Oh, look at him. He's got so many restaurants going on. So yeah, it sounded like he was a great person. I had no idea what he was doing. So again, all these things that have been said, all these so-called relationships we had with these people, just by the fact that we were stuck in those hotels, everybody there becomes hooked up and connected with other people. It couldn't be more incestuous and disgusting, and that's what's being denounced. I repudiate any endorsement I ever gave that man. I'm disgusted that I was ever put in that position. Again, no one I ever sought after other than the circumstances of what it was, other than my own personal family at that time, being bestie westies and telling us how great they were and flowing so much power, because that is what they're all chasing inside of those hotels. What type of power, what type of hookup, what type of thing can I get out of it for myself? So yeah, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Question. People still seem to be confused, but it seems simple for me. Can you please clarify what supporting the protesters means? Something that is just about money, but it isn't. I mean, again, you guys, supporting the protesters is, looking up the definition of support. Like literally, let's literally look up the definition of support. What is the definition of support? The definition of support refers to providing assistance, encouragement, and resources to help someone or something succeed, cope, or achieve a goal. It can take many forms, including emotional backing, financial aid, physical self-help, or simply being present to offer guidance and reassurance. In essence, support is about being there for someone or something in a meaningful, helpful way. So for the people in the back that didn't want to clear that definition, there's your definition. And financial aid, there was not a shred of financial aid that was ever requested from the foundation as a formal request from a protester. I believe that line about helping us with that only came up when it had to do with they weren't doing anything whatsoever. They had been already disconnected from another practice that they all learned at the cult. Oh, let's really disconnect with this one because this one's saying bad things about us. And again, you guys, when we set out to cleanse and figure out and deal with this crisis that was brewing in this community from them feeling so disenfranchised and not supported, plenty people made plenty statements that were plenty outrageous. And all of that can be pushed back on. When people make up lies and make up outrageous things, no one's saying that you have to take it and not take it and not set the record straight. When you're doing a public foundation and people in your community are saying those things about you, and if you're not pushing back, if you're not getting with them, if you're not hearing what it is, and then we're not all working together to collaborate to actually get something achieved, then nothing's being done. And that's what support for the protesters means, being there for them. Figure it out. You have a brain, you have a platform, you have plenty ways for you to figure out how to deal with something if you want to deal with it. If you want to just other it, oh no, they're not ours, like help yourselves. That's what was unacceptable. And I never agreed with plenty of things that plenty protesters say, because again, everybody has the right to say their own opinion and their own thing and voice their own things. Doesn't mean that I endorse them, but it doesn't mean that as a board member, that's what's different, you guys. On a public board, you get feedback, right? We've been going to all of these public meetings. Do they want to hear from us? Probably not. Do they like what we're saying? Probably not. Do they want to be told off? Why are you supporting self-admitted pedophiles at the City Council of Los Angeles? No, they don't want to hear that. But they don't have the luxury of shutting us out, of shutting us up. They don't have the luxury of trampling on our First Amendment right and say, since you said something so disgusting last time that we didn't want to hear, we're not going to hear you anymore. Now, mind you, they don't say shit when we denounce these things. But you still owe it to the community to hear them. And then the community might continue to attack you if they don't feel listened to, or they will be like, oh, look, we are being listened to, and we have come up to this negotiated solution so that whatever problem was being presented, it got figured out to one degree or another. Thank you, MBD Media 18. It is willful ignorance. Oh, and here's an example from Pearl. I asked Aaron to reach out to his audience to see if there were any attorneys in Texas to help us. not to pay a retainer, but for a referral. I mean, again, how hard is it to put a community post? Yo, does anyone know anyone in Texas? I mean, if there's anything I've learned about this community, you guys, is that you guys are resourceful AF. If somebody doesn't have something, somebody has something, somebody has something, and you're all willing to see what can be done to help. All of you are actually here to help. I don't think that any of you just sit here listening to all this horrific trauma and dysfunction and just go, okay, well, if I have the resources, I'm not going to help, because why would I? That is the opposite of what this community has shown us time and time and time again. So again, it's like, why wasn't this done? Why was that post not posted? Why was something so easy not achieved? Oh, good point here. Google Maps Diddy, 2 houses in Florida, deep hole. Look around the houses for the traffic humans and you can see the blue buildings. Well, I don't know about the tunnels there, but I forgot that Diddy situationship was also very Florida based. So third strike, Florida. Diddy, Epstein, and Scientology. You already have 3 strikes. You know what the law does to you when you have 3 strikes? FDLE. Why don't you put up that on your Instagram? On your next Instagram, put Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Yeah, P. Diddy was doing his unthinkable, disgusting, illegal things here. Also, Jeffrey Epstein, and also Scientology. And we have been nowhere to be found to rein any of it back. So why should the taxpayers in Florida be paying the FDLE if they don't want to do their job? That's a question to leave the FDLE to answer with a straight face and quickly. My 50-year-old friend can't even talk about being sent to his local org as a kid without tears forming. Yet he still doesn't blame his parents, even though he himself is, of course, anti-Scientology. I mean, again, you guys, it's unthinkable. No child is ever born and says, you know what I really want to realize for myself? That my parents put me and exposed me and endorsed me and groomed me and left me there to rot in those hotels. None of us wanted that to be our reality. None of us wanted to feel that we were such worthless kids that we deserve everything they did to us in those hotels. No child, believe you me, that is the biggest nightmare anyone can come into this world with. We don't wish anything that was done to us as kids on our literal worst enemy. So the facts need to be exposed. Like, whether people believe that their parents put them there or not, I'm not checking with them if they did. The facts and the truth are the only thing that we have to be loyal to. Not people's feelings, not people's delusions, not people's whatevers. Like, you want to say your parents didn't expose you? Well, double check on that. Double check on that. And if people don't want to denounce it, well, all we have is the same situation still happening to other kids. So put yourself in the shoes of another kid. Put yourself on the shoes of, adults that could have maybe taken it upon themselves to stop us getting abused as children, because that is the trauma that hurts. That is the trauma that is so irreconcilable. That's a trauma that sticks to you your entire life, what was done to you as a child. Perfect example, the whole thing with SPTV. Do you all think I'm pressed about this now? Sure, I'm still reconciling my feelings. I'm still heartbroken about it. I'm still disillusioned about it. But trust me, this is nothing on all the disgusting things that were done to me at that hotel. This was not a felony perpetrated on me, what happened there. It's that simple. So Adults can deal with situations much differently than kids. And the trauma that you got as a child is 1,000% harder to deal with than whatever you get exposed to as an adult. Thank you, witchy woman. Yeah, we were children and we didn't know what to say no about. I mean, that's the problem, you guys. We didn't know what to say no about. We didn't understand it. We had no compass. We were groomed up to our neck and ears. Everything was normalized. All the adults inside of the hotel act like whatever's happening inside couldn't be more normal, couldn't be more appropriate, couldn't be more age appropriate. In fact, all of them agreed that our ages were useless numbers that have nothing to do with reality. And can you believe the idiot wogs really think that a 5-year-old is a 5-year-old and not an immortal being like L. Ron Hubbard told us? Who is being acted against their best interest there? Really ask yourself that question. Is the adult holding that belief, or is it the child that's being told 5-year-olds means nothing? You are an adult in a child's body, and you're not your body, because that's what they would tell us all the time. You're not a body. You're not a body. You're not a body. So they disassociate you constantly with, you're not a body, you're a thetan. You're not a body, you're a thetan. You're an ageless thetan. And you're just like, you have no idea how to make sense of any of this. It all sounds so ridiculous and dumb, but yes, as a child, you have no defense. You have no ability. So that's what we're talking about here. Corn freak, yeah. I wouldn't even allow my sons to be watched at my parents' house. I couldn't feel in my bones that there's something not good about the place. So I can't imagine sending them to anything like the Sea Org. Yeah. I'm glad that you listen to your instincts, because again, it's like you gotta, the maternal and paternal instincts of the Scientology parents were destroyed by the convicted felon L. Ron Hubbard. They were indoctrinated, paid to be indoctrinated to behave that way. So it sucks to be them. I don't wish any of them had done that. Literally. Thank you, Anonymous Lens. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Absolutely, Larry. Let's get them to do it. I mean, I did hear through the grapevine that Lawrence Wright said that his biggest regret about covering in this story had been not covering the kids. But I don't have a way to let him know that he should cover that in his next book, or that he should do something to actually get to the bottom of the facts and expose this disgusting state-sponsor child trafficking racketeering scheme that those of us that experience that child trafficking racketeering scheme are categorically denouncing. We didn't have religious experiences, Lawrence Wright. And you would know that, given the fact that you did spend a lot of time researching the disgusting, degenerate, convicted felon, American writer, L. Ron Hubbard. So I couldn't agree with you more, Larry. Let's all start telling Lawrence Wright that, his work is far from over, that he didn't even scratch the literal surface of what he was investigating, and that in Scientology, he would have had his head spliced if he missed this much of the withhold from the subject he was investigating. So just like we were treated as children, having our heads spliced into Lawrence Wright, you should really take a look at that for yourself in front of a mirror. Have I failed the kids of this investigation that I conducted? Liz Gale just resigned. So are you guys breaking the news here? So you guys already saw this? I'm so behind on the chat, you guys, because I told you I was going to answer questions, and this is not how I usually speak. So I'm going back and forth on this. Yeah, US government, the FBI got sued for failing those victims. The FBI got sued by failing the Larry Nassar victims. And again, you guys, that is, let me see if I can explain myself well. When you are a victim of this level of unconscionable, disgusting abuse as a child, the thing that is most triggering is knowing it's still happening and no one is doing anything. Is knowing you've gone to the FBI, you've talked to the Department of Homeland Security, you talked to the Clearwater Police, you talked to the LAPD, you talked to the Tampa Bay Times, you've given everyone the full benefit of the doubt for almost a decade now. Almost. And what did they do? Nothing. Nothing. So for 9 years, children could have stopped being blamed for being raped. But you know what the Clearwater Police said? Not our problem. You know what the Tampa Bay Times said? Sounds like a religion. Sounds like they're really experiencing a lot of religion there. Can't write it, can't critique that, can't have a critical thought for ourselves because an American-bred God is who wrote that on a piece of paper. So, you know, who are we at the Tampa Bay Times to write that children being told that their rapes are the responsibility is something that is disgusting, unconscionable, and absolutely illegal? In what world are we having to tell the editor of the Tampa Bay Times how to do his goddamn job? No wonder the scourge of L. Ron Hubbard has spread all through that city. You can thank the Tampa Bay Times for that. Float your felonies away. Join Scientology today. I mean, I wish this was a PR slogan, you guys, but this is literal reality. A convicted felon wrote, if you put someone in my machine and have them self-admit to a felony, it floats, it disappears into the ether. That's what children that are literally raped and then told, oh, it floated, you're over it already. Isn't it great to be part of us at this hotel that you can just float it? And even when you still feel like shit afterwards, they're like, why are you dramatizing? What's wrong with you? Like, we already addressed that in a session. We already had that float. Why are you complaining about it now? Roxy, the FBI knows exactly what Scientology is doing. Either they are building a case or they are in on it. Yeah. Either they're building a case, but I mean, again, it's like, how long are we going to have to wait for that FBI? If y'all are building a case, hurry the F up. Because again, going back to the point where 5 lawsuits of child trafficking have been filed and y'all have done nothing. 1 lawsuit for P. Diddy gets filed and y'all just move in on that real quickly. Explain how that is not treating us equally under the law. I'm not pressed that P. Diddy is being pursued and prosecuted and that all of those victims are getting the justice that they are owed and deserved. And now there's like 100, I just heard the other day, like 100 people file lawsuits. Well, wait for the thousands of lawsuits that are going to be filed once y'all actually start doing your goddamn jobs. And wait for how L. Ron Hubbard hooked you up. FBI. Just so you all don't think, oh, but it's going to be so hard for us to do our job at the FBI. Bullshit. L. Ron Hubbard said to record it all, transcribe it all, and have everything documented. So lucky for y'all, these are the easiest criminal cases ever known to man. So FBI Crimes Against Children Unit, start doing your jobs and hurry the F up. If you got current investigations, speed them the F up. Because we're done waiting for your lazy asses to pretend this is very hard when we would be running circles around you and having your head spliced in 2, just like they told us at the hotel was going to be done to us every time we missed something in an investigation. Go interrogate that person. Don't you miss one thing, because we will have your head spliced in 2. So imagine that the FBI Just gets their cushy job, 9 to 5. I punch in, I punch out. I don't give an F. I'm out. We're going to take another 10, 15 years to really go and see, is a religion? Is it not a religion? Is it First Amendment? Is it not First Amendment? The 13th Amendment canceled slavery. In what world is a child that has no education, that came from Mexico, that on 7th grade education, that had no idea the Constitution existed, having to tell you that the 13th Amendment abolished slavery? So why are children being turned into unwilling slaves? Not the Scientology adults. Adults can consent to becoming slaves. Adults can consent to being humiliated. Adults can consent to being dominated and treated in the most disgusting ways. If they're getting off on it, it's not a crime. And it might be very unpalatable for a lot of you that go, oh my God, I can't believe it. How would you? Yeah. It's called, some adults are into that. They want to be treated as slaves. They want to be humiliated. They want to be punched down on. They're getting off on that. Why? I don't know. I don't care to understand why they're getting off on it. All I know is that why are they bringing children with them to get that done? Why are children being treated as slaves, as Denmark has already denounced very clearly? This modern day slavery, which is illegal in all countries that are hosting this. Scientology has their hands in so many political pockets. The exposure would be too much until the day someone has the balls and say enough and back it up in the money and the power. And I mean, again, you guys, it's our outrage which is going to cause them to move. Don't think that anybody's going to move a shred of an inch until they have to. Just like they did with Epstein, just like they did with Diddy, just like they did with the US gymnastics. Law enforcement is always like hundreds of million steps behind doing their goddamn job. They're never ahead of it. They're never like, oh, we just saw this. Oh, this doesn't make sense. Oh, we need to investigate this. Oh, we need to indict them. Oh, we need to prevent children from being trafficked and being turned into slaves in America. Because, yeah, the founding fathers did pitch that slavery would be abolished. And yet today is just a goddamn platitude. Scientology is paying the Tampa Bay Times off. I mean, that's what it's giving. I have no proof whatsoever that that's happening. But in what world are they acting so pathetically dumb, gullible, and naive? Like I said, 4 trafficking lawsuits in Tampa. 4. Valeska, Gwen, Laura, a Jane Doe. Crickets. Oh, here's the story. Oh, you guys, I did a story. One story to say that there's a lawsuit. And oh, the judge threw it out because he said, oh yeah, you know what? We really have to arbitrate here. Sounds like a really situation we need to arbiter. Oh no, but it does pain my heart. But I mean, I guess that's what the law says. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Robert. All of this infighting with SPTV community is doing nothing but aiding Scientology. I've gotten so sick of all the squabbling I have turned out. Sure. Goodbye. No one asked anybody to tune in. We are highly aware that it sucks to be us. We are highly aware that this is our burden. So if this burdens you, check out. This is not your community. This is not where we need you. We need people that are going to be child advocates. And it takes a lot of resilience and it takes a lot of trauma, people that have gone through this to stick around for what actually matters. So you can like literally go out the door. This isn't an airport. We don't need to announce your departure. Leave at will. This is our platform. So for all of you who want to leave, bye-bye. Look how much, does this look like the face that gives an F? We're purging. We're in a purging era. All those people that unsubscribe, you better not come and subscribe. We don't give an F. We don't give an F. You want to unsubscribe? Bye-bye. Literally, like, the right people will come. Believe you me. There's plenty of people that have already come and really actually supported everything we're doing. So why do we need people that are just here for, for everybody getting along for the kumbaya? Go join another cult then, because that's what they tell you in a cult. Oh, everybody has to get along, otherwise the mission is not getting accomplished. Guess where that was being pitched 24/7, 365? Inside of the Scientology hotels. So apparently you've been consuming a lot of SPTV content and you still have no shred of a literal clue what being in a cult is all about. Being in a cult is all about fake kumbaya and optics. So go and consume other content by all means. By all literal means. Exactly, Kiara. I'm here to support the protesters. I've not been able to give money, but I consider myself a supporter just by being here. Every single one of you that is witnessing, every single one of you that is lending an ear, that is lending valuable time to this cause, that is doing whatever it is that you can do from your vantage point. Everybody's situation is different. So everyone should be thankful for the literal diverse capacity of people to support. This is not a echelon game where, oh, these ones are great and these ones are bad. That's what cults do. These are the ones that are patron meritorious, platetorious, and these ones over here are just the help. That's exactly what cults do. Why is Rabbit not acknowledging any of this when the chat tries? They are shut down instantly. I don't know. I don't know why Rabbit's doing that. I have no idea. I don't know if that's happened. Nobody has told me that. I had no idea that was happening, if it is happening. One love 5,100, 1,000, 5,100. See, I can't even say the number. One love 51,000. However we got here we are. Every parent needs to take accountability. Every adult needs to stand up and not stay silent. Thank you, One Love, for saying that. And yes, however we got here, if people start standing up, if people start coming clean, if people start taking accountability, if people start doing heavy lifting, if whatever needs to be accomplished so children are not exposed to be told that they pulled in being raped is seen in the physical universe, yes, by all means, we could all celebrate something there, So I'm glad that you're making this point because, yes, Scientology parents, where are y'all? Where can anyone find you? Stop pretending that you're scared now in the aftermath of everything that's happened. You should have been scared before, and it's going to take balls to come forward, and it's going to take balls for you to renounce and fully denounce everything that happened. But if it stops children being abused as we speak, guess what? The first ones that come and do it are the ones that are really going to show what it actually means to take responsibility and accountability. The ones that are waiting for someone else to do it, the more you wait, the less credibility your shtick is going to have. So we put in the timer. It literally starts right this second from 0, from this exact date. What is it today? September 30th, 2024. The countdown has begun. Let's see how many Scientology parents step up to the plate. The ones that come the soonest to step up get the least amount of consequences because they're doing the hard work, the unthinkable. The ones that are waiting for other people to do it are going to have the least credibility and are going to be the ones that are now it's convenient to come out because other people really did put their ass out there. Oh, no. Oh, me too now. F that. F that. Start showing some accountability. Start showing some responsibility. All things you preached inside of the hotels. When you had a safe environment to what? To get away with felonies? So now that you left the hotel, what? You think that, oh, now I don't want to be transparent. Now I don't want to write time, place for of a felony to the FBI and go, oh, FBI, I'm really sorry. I did all this fucked up shit. Here's my affidavit. Cut me a deal. Yeah. Is as so important. This type of fame comes and goes. The cost stays and the real fight continues in other places. We all have a life apart from Sciento and can make a living once it's over. Does he? Oh, ask? Oh, you meant Aaron Smith Levin? I mean, oh, I just saw your correction. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I mean, again, what needs to be denounced needs to be denounced, and that has to be the focus. And that's just common sense. A lawsuit can be proven with their own damn declassified documents. They know everything and then some. Exactly, Roxy. This is what is the law calls doing things with full impunity. This is what the law calls doing things with full-blown impunity. When you're video recording the crime, when you're transcribing the crime, when you're literally calling Amex to charge $100,000 as a so-called donation to launder said crime, guess where the plausible deniability is? Nowhere. What? Did you see the video of Leah Remini asking 16-year-old Justin Bieber if he'd rather be naked on stage or drink a jar of worms? It was almost like he was forcing him to have to say he'd rather be naked. I did see that clip. Plenty of you guys have shown it to me. And it's nauseating, you guys. But again, it's like Leah was just doing this as a bull bait point. This was so normalized for her inside of the hotel. So you guys can see a glimpse of what someone under the influence of L. Ron Hubbard is going to normalize. Imagine she was being video recorded. Imagine she was doing this on live TV. Imagine that, you know, everyone gave her a pass when this happened. No one acted pressed until things are being revealed about how Diddy was running his whole disgusting operation with all of this level of corruption. But yeah, I mean, again, adults inside of the hotel treat children as if they are on the same level as the adult. They make no distinction whatsoever. Doesn't matter how disgusting, doesn't matter how inappropriate. There is no limit. They're all pretending that the children are adults and that they can be disrespected, they can be whatever it is, they can do it. It's been currently talked about that Diddy learned how to video people and hold information over their heads from Scientologists, and Scientologists would attend those parties. Well, we know Masterson was attending those parties. And we know that Ashton Kutcher, Mr. Punk You, literal Ashton Kutcher. Punk, oh, let's put a lot of hidden cameras. Let's really catch people in the act. Of course, what was aired out on MTV had nothing to do with the type of criminal leverage they were weighing in on other people. The one that was bestie westies with P. Diddy, in his own words, Ashton Kutcher. The one that wrote that letter about how, oh, well, Denny Masterson was great and wonderful. Was he great and wonderful, Ashton? Was he great and wonderful? Apparently, the FBI is just fine with child abuse as long as it's cloaked in religion. As long as you just say that word, you guys, and law enforcement immediately has connection fits in their brain. Oh, religion. Oh, we can't have a critical thought for ourselves. We're just. I mean, how stupid do you guys think we are, FBI? We were stupid as kids. We were stupid. We give you that. We were very, very stupid. We were very, very gullible. We were very, very naive. We were very, very influential. But it's taken decades for us to connect the dots. Imagine that. Amy Serge, I tweeted you a video of Salt Lake City protester Crazy Love is Love. Amy, I'm sorry. I'm not on Twitter that much because I really don't understand it. So to be honest, like I don't barely ever check it, but thank you. I'll try and check it and see it because I haven't seen it. Unstoppable and SP and 2 here in Arkansas were put the report to the FBI. Yeah, I mean, we've gone to the FBI, you guys. They've been told. Believe you me, they've been told. Exactly. This is not for entertainment. It is far from fun. And this is exactly what Kelly Clarkson said. We are not here for your entertainment. That's it. That's the line that we're going to do. What's up, Chichikana? Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, there are many meetings to call tomorrow. Mona posted them on her community page. Speak up for Surge, the protesters, and the kids inside. Thank you. Let's go. Yeah, go to Mona's page, you guys, because those are the meetings we need to be attending. Those are the people that are stakeholders that owe us, as boards that they are, owe us answers, owe us action, and owe us change. So that's where the change needs to happen, inside those boards that are also public boards, that are also to be upholding the literal standards of the law, including but not limited to the State Bar Association boards, that if they didn't know, they had complete and utter crazy asses running around with law licenses like Monique Yingling and Robert E. Mangle, and nobody at the State Bar does anything, and oh, we've been told they're great, we've been told they're wonderful. Well, double check on that and start doing your own goddamn investigations and your goddamn job, State Bar Association, because we will keep showing up. So you cannot play dumb. So you cannot just not do your job and collect whatever paychecks they give you at the State Bar Association that has been nowhere on the record reining back the people that have what? Put their law license on the line to purport this is our religion. So if anybody wants to ask, where did you guys get the idea this was very religious? Robert E. Mango and Monique Yingling, start with those two. They're the two attorneys that put their law license on the line to defend this, to be all about it, and to purport that they really can be doing the unthinkable abominations with children, and that children can be told that their rape is something that can be floated away. So double check on that, State Bar Association. Our children in this country having a religious experience, after they get raped, they get forced to confess to that. They get their rapist to confess to that as well. They get both of that on tape, And then a floating needle makes it all just disappear. Double check on that really quickly. Thank you, Natcat. Is getting along just for the cause worth it to determine to the detriment of your morals? Is it worth it getting gaslit or abused by your friends or family? No. Literally, it's not. The whole idea of everybody get along is cult 101. Everyone go for the optics. Everyone go for what is convenient. Everyone go for the kumbaya. We're sick of the fake kumbaya. If you're preaching kumbaya, you didn't understand the assignment. And if you didn't understand the assignment, then you know what? See yourself out the door. We don't need you. We don't want you. We need child advocates that get it. And luckily, this community has plenty of other trauma survivors that have seen firsthand, that have understood firsthand the seriousness of the nature of what we are denouncing on a daily MF basis. Those are the people that count. Those are the people that are putting a lot of their time and efforts to advocate, even for their own inner child, even for their own trauma. Imagine that that's what a lot of us connect on. It's like, you know what? I was also a child survivor of SA. And I understand what it feels like when everybody just pretends that it was all just your problem and you should have dealt with that better. Those are the people that don't make these type of stupid comments. And for anyone that wants to be entitled, check your privilege. Check it. Check it at the door. Because you know what? If you were not raped as a child, consider yourself lucky. And instead of punching down on us that were and are having to do this work, maybe you should be uplifting those. If you didn't have that trauma, it should call for you having that much more compassion and empathy for what actually matters. Not sanitize it away and not trying to go with whatever cult figure you decided is great to really be all a part of. As some fake kumbaya family that we all are. We're not a family. We're child advocates. And reposted the meetings on Zoom links too. Great. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, go check up Henry's post, you guys. I mean, anybody can join. All of you guys can join. You can call from other states. It can, you know, we all can show up to that. There's no limit. So yeah, the same for co-conspirators in a federal case. The first one in the door gets the best deal. The first one in the door that is willing to self-incriminate and admit to what you were doing inside of those hotels and stops what's being done in those hotels. We will personally thank you. Whoever that is that does that for themselves. There is such thing as immunity, but you have to earn that. That's not granted. That's not, oh, well, I guess I'm just very immune. No, you're not immune. You have to go and you have to cooperate. Thank you, Carrie. I stand with you. I was not in the cult of Scientology, but a very tight-knit Catholic church with very similar abuse that our parents put us in. I have found past classmates and we're all voicing the truth. That's great, Carrie. And I mean, again, you guys, that is power to survivors. As survivors, that's all you can get. That's all you can get. That's all that could even matter. That you have your power, that you have been seen, that your plight has been acknowledged. And it helps because what? That acknowledgement, not the fake kumbaya, not the shut the F up because you're really ruining the party for everybody. We're not concerned about parties that people are having. We're not concerned with, doing anything to further their fun. We're concerned to stopping the abuse that was done. And so many people like Carrie, you guys, stepping up and stating your truth and raising awareness. That's what sends the predators the message to not do it. Just in case everyone's confused about that. So for anybody that wants to say, oh, you really should get along, really? So that more predators can have their way with children. So that you're comfortable while predators just get away with it over our dead body. Exactly, April. Even if law enforcement isn't paying attention to the lawsuit, there's no way they don't know about Danny Masterson trial case, and the details should have been enough for Homeland Security to investigate. I mean, literally, we have a criminal conviction. Never mind that Scientology didn't get brought into that criminal case, which they should have, since they actively obstructed justice. As I said, Danny Masterson was interrogated inside of those hotels and asked about everything to do with his situationship. So why is law enforcement not wanting to be aware of that? They can ask themselves that question. They literally should be asking themselves that exact question. Would I mind if you guys shared some of my words during the calls? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I've been trying to post clips of them, so feel free to use them, repost them. Absolutely. Thank you, Nico. I'm sorry that you went through that too. Thank you. Thank you, Rosa. The Burbank daycare should have been enough evidence for Scientology to be stopped. Thank you, Rosa, for bringing that up. It's been a bottomless pit of disgusting child abuse, what's been going on in those hotels, you guys. And I don't know that all of you know that what Rosa's talking about here, but there was a whole child care here in Los Angeles where they had a person abusing very, very young kids. And what the leadership of Scientology found out, they went and laundered everything. Because again, is the exact thing that they always do. Launder, 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 throw soap and bubbles and pretend that nothing happened. And as all of you in this community are holding space for these unthinkable conversations, for this unthinkable plight, I want to thank you all again from the literal bottom of our hearts, for all of you that are showing up, for all of you that are subscribing because you care, because you want to denounce this, because you are with us, because you're showing us as survivors that we are believed and that we should have been given the equal treatment under the law that the law calls for. So we're going to continue advocating. Thank you for your questions and your comments. I hope that you all feel heard and understood by this community as well. And I want to thank you all for being here with us. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.